6.9, using equations that factor. Okay, so we're going to come up with equations that factor and use them to answer our problems. To solve problems by writing equations and solving. So here's how we're going to go through our steps. Our first phase, known as phase 1, we're going to understand the problem. So what am I trying to find? What am I given? What do I need to know? Is kind of how we're going to do this. Phase 2 is to develop and carry out the plan. So you're going to create this plan. I'm given this. I'm trying to find that. Da, 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 da. So what strategies do I need to solve my equation? In phase 3, you're going to find your answer. You're going to check it. But you're also going to make sure, does my answer make sense? Does the answer that I came up with help answer my problem? Alright, so let's look at the first example here. Translate and solve. The product of one more than a number and one less than a number is 8. So to go through my phases here, I think about I need to come up with product. Product means to multiply. So I know I'm going to multiply two different things. And I'm going to multiply two different pieces, and my two different pieces are the product of one more than a number. So x plus 1 times and one less than a number, x minus 1. And I know that means equals 8. So once I get to here, then I can solve my equation by foiling. So now I'm going to FOIL. And I'll end up with x squared minus 1 is equal to 8. And now I can solve by adding 1 to both sides. X squared is equal to 9. I take the square root, and x is equal to plus or minus 3. So my last step is, if I go back in and check my work, because remember we want to check to make sure our answer makes sense, is 3 plus 1 and 3 minus 1 equal to 8. Well, that's 4 times 2, and 4 times 2 is, yes, equal to 8. Or negative 3 plus 1 and negative 3 minus 1. Does that equal 8? Well, that's negative 2 times negative 4, and that is also 8. So we checked, we got the right answer. So let's move on to the next one. The square of a number minus twice the number is 48. So the square of a number, so I'm going to take a number and square it. I know that much. And then I'm going to minus 2 times that number, so 2x is equal to 48. So from here, I can go and solve by factoring. X squared minus 2x minus 48 is equal to 0. So now I think about two numbers, multiply together to get negative 48, add together to get negative 2. It's going to be a negative 8 and a positive 6. So x minus 8 and x plus 6 are equal to 0. And as I continue to solve, x minus 8 equals 0, or x plus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 8, or x is equal to negative 6. From here, I can go back and check. And I plug in 8 squared minus 2 times 8. Does that equal 48? And that's a yes. And negative 6 squared minus 2 times negative 6. Does that equal 48? And again, checking those both work. Alright, we have two more examples I'm going to run you through. Now they're getting a little bit more difficult, and we also have to look at formulas that are from your past. So the area of the for sale on a 12-meter racing yacht is 93.75 square meters. The sail's height is 8.75 meters greater than its base. Find the base and the height. So we're talking about a sail that's a triangle. So we know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And if I label my height as h, so area equals 1/2. If my height is h, then I know my base is equal to h minus 8.75, because that's what this piece right here tells us. Alright, so now I just plug and chug in all my pieces. So h minus 8.75 times h again. And now I'm going to distribute to is equal to 93.75, because that's what we know the area is equal to. So now I'm going to plug and chug everything in, distribute. I'm actually, to get rid of this 1/2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And I'm going to distribute that. So two things at once here. H squared minus 8.75h is equal to 187.5. Now I'm going to bring everything over, and h squared minus 8.75h minus 187.5 is equal to 0. This is a little bit more difficult of factoring, and I don't expect you to do this in your heads. We'll have much prettier numbers. You could multiply everybody by 10 or by 100 to move your decimal place, but we would factor this out to be h minus 18.75 and h plus 10 is equal to 0. And so h is equal to either 18.75 or h is equal to negative 10. But can you have a negative? Can I have a height that is negative 10 meters? Nope, I can't have a height of negative, so that 18.75 is my only answer. Alright, last example here. We've done ones like these with our consecutive numbers, so let's try another one. The product of two consecutive integers is 56. Find the integers. So two consecutive integers means if one integer is x, the next integer is x plus 1. And we know that the product means to multiply, so these two things multiplied together is 156. So again, I just go and distribute x squared plus x is equal to 156. X squared plus x minus 156 is equal to 0, because I got to get 0 on the one side. Two numbers multiply together get 156, add together to get 1. It's going to be 12 and 13. We're going to have a negative 12, negative 156. So x minus 12, x plus 13 is equal to 0. X equals 12, or x could equal negative 13. So you go and check, and I'll let you guys check it and tell me, do both answers work? Alright, and the last piece is two different problems for you to try.